Okay, so I'm standing here with Mark Pluimer, founder of Hills Alive 30 years ago. Now, Mark, thinking back on it right now, why did you want to start up Hills Alive, and kind of what was the starting point to it all?
Well, I think a lot of people may not understand that 30 years ago, contemporary Christian music was controversial. Drums, guitars, saxophones, all kinds of instruments. It's mainstream in our church worship services today, but at the time it was pretty controversial. So the first Hills Alive, back 30 years ago, was really intended to bring in a group of the artists that we played on the air to show people what their hearts were, how they performed live, to just give them a broader view of what Christian music was about rather than just what they heard on the radio.
Okay, and then with it being 30 years now, what kind of impact do you think that it's had on the Black Hills here?
Well, it's incredible to see how it's grown over the years from a little, I think the first year was about 12 or 1,400 people up at Hart Ranch, to now where almost every day you'll see 20,000 people in the park. And it's become a very destination type event, and we find that people plan on it every year and they come every year. And I think the impact has been so positive because it is a drug-free, alcohol-free event. When you come to Hills Alive, you look out and you see grandparents and parents and grandchildren. Just such a positive event that's grown, and right here in Rapid City Memorial Park has become a mainstay. Now,
Mark, when you originally started up, did you ever think that it would have the type of success and grow the way it has?
Oh, absolutely not. We did not intend to do Hills Alive on an annual basis. In fact, we have Hills Alive 85. We got something that rhymed. We weren't thinking about 86 or 87, but the response to it was so powerful and positive that it began to kind of take on a life of its own. 3 years at Hart Ranch, then we moved it to Spearfish City Park. Around 2000, 2001, we moved it back here to Memorial Park where there's more room. So it has grown over that time, but it was never intended when we first planned it to be more than a one-year event.
Now, Mark, for you, is there a certain memory that sticks out in your mind that you kind of, really look back on and really enjoy?
Well, there was one particular time that just really struck me what this festival stands for. It was back in, I believe it was 1987. It was in Hart Ranch, and we had Phil Driscoll, who was a popular Christian artist at that time, and he had a song called "Make Us One," and talking about all of the followers of Christ being one and the same and together. And I remember that day had been like 110 degrees. There was kind of the dust in the air, and I was standing back a little bit kind of in the middle, and you see kind of this dusty haze, but the lights are shining through it, and so there's red and yellow and blue. And he started that song and he asked everybody to join hands and to lift their hands together. And so standing and watching through these uplifted hands to the stage with the lights, it just struck me, because for that time and for that moment we were one.
That's awesome, Mark. And then just one more. For people who have come here and are going to continue to, maybe it's their first time, what is the experience like, would you say? What can they experience when they come down here?
Well, I think what they're going to do is they're going to experience family. There's multi-generations. You'll meet parents that were here 30 years ago. They brought their children here, and now their children are bringing their children here. And so you'll have a real sense of family. You'll find a group of people that just a great group of people hang out with, and some awesome music.
Yes. Well, Mark, 30 years, looking forward to another 30 years ahead of us. Thank you so much, Mark. This will be great.
Thank you.